So on Christmas 1982, we left my grandmother's house in Tulsa and went to the airport and picked Robert and his dad up. And that's about an hour drive back to our house. And it was evening. It was dark outside. And when we got home, everybody unloaded the car, whether it was gifts or their luggage or whatever. And he told me when we were still unloading the car, before you go to sleep, come in my room. I want to talk to you. And I mean, I was 12 years old.
Pastoral sex scandals are becoming more frequent, and this one is even more shocking. Robert Morris, the founder and pastor of Gateway Church, has long been known for his charismatic leadership and strong influence in the evangelical community. He built Gateway into one of the largest megachurches in the U.S., preaching about faith, prosperity, and living a Christ-centered life. But now his name is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. A shocking rape case has surfaced, throwing his reputation into serious question. While details are still unfolding, the allegations are raising eyebrows, especially among those who once looked up to him as a spiritual leader. And if that wasn't enough, a mugshot of Robert Morris has been circulating online, making the scandal even harder to ignore. For a man who preached about morality and righteousness, this case has rocked both his followers and the broader Christian community. Some are standing by him, waiting for more facts, while others are questioning everything they believed about him and his ministry. As this legal battle unfolds, the future of Gateway Church also hangs in the balance. Will it survive the storm? Robert Morris surrenders to authorities. All right, let's break this down. On the morning of March 17, he walked into the Osage County Sheriff's Office in Oklahoma, flanked by his lawyer and a bail bondsman. Picture this. He gets booked, handcuffed, and has his mugshot taken. Definitely not the image his followers are used to. A special arraignment followed, where the judge entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. But this case is far from over. Morris was released on a $50,000 bond and is expected back in court on May 9th. This all comes after Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond filed a 5-page indictment against him. The charges? Sexual misconduct with a 12-year-old girl, Cindy Clemisher, dating back to Christmas night, 1982. Cindy, now a grandmother, bravely came forward in June 2024, sharing the heartbreaking reality of what she endured. In the aftermath, Morris stepped down from Gateway Church, leaving a cloud of controversy behind him. Cindy's story is both devastating and powerful. Her journey to understanding and speaking out took decades.
It took me, like I said, it took me 18 years from when I told to be able to call abuse and that he molested me, to accept those words, to finally understand that that is abuse and really evil and actually a crime. Mm-hmm. And I was angry about it.
Yes, Cindy Clemisher had been seeing a counselor for years to help her process the trauma she endured. She shared how her counselor guided her through the healing journey, helping her recognize the abuse for what it was, and eventually empowering her to speak out. Before I continue, my stance on this case remains unchanged, and I will analyze it thoroughly.
My counselor used to say, I can remember her asking me when I was probably 28 or 29, have you ever been angry about this? Even when I told her the first time, I think she was surprised that I didn't know that it was a crime.
Imagine the year she says this happened, Christmas night, 1982. Given how much time has passed, there's no direct evidence to rely on, but let's take a closer look and follow up on the details.
So on Christmas 1982, we left my grandmother's house in Tulsa and went to the airport and picked Robert and his dad up. And that's about an hour drive back to our house. And it was evening. It was dark outside. And when we got home, everybody unloaded the car, whether it was gifts or their luggage or whatever. And he told me when we were still unloading the car, before you go to sleep, come in my room. I want to talk to you. And I mean, I was 12 years old. I just did not even think anything of that.
Over the course of 4.5 years, Clemisher explained, the alleged abuse gradually worsened. She shared,
and from then on, it was just anytime they came to our house or we went to their house or anytime we were all together, there was always some form of touching, kissing. What I now know as an adult is consent instrumentation, because he would use his hands and fingers, and that went on until I finally told. So 4.5 years of that.
She also opened up about the confusion she felt as a child and highlighted how the deep impact of the abuse kept her silent for years. It's truly shocking.
I think I was just confused, just confusion. I didn't understand why he would want to do that. I didn't understand what he meant by it will ruin everything. I mean, I obviously knew there was something not right about it. He was married. I was, like I said, a little girl.
I would not be here today if the shame had not lifted off me. There's no way. My counselor told me that. She's retired. I called her, talked to her, and I said, have you seen what's happening? And she went, nobody watches the news anymore. She was like, I guess not. What's happening? So I told her, and she said, well, you know what's happening. And I said, what? And she said, you're not walking in shame anymore.
Following last week's indictment, Cindy Clemisher delivered a powerful statement expressing relief that after nearly 43 years, Robert Morris is finally facing justice. She urged the legal system to hold him accountable, thanking authorities for their efforts and hoping for a fair outcome. Morris's case will be heard in Osage County District Court as the alleged abuse took place in Hominy, Oklahoma. Many initially believed the statute of limitations would prevent charges, but Attorney General Gentner Drummond clarified that it doesn't apply since Morris was never an Oklahoma resident. Before stepping down, Morris admitted to what he called inappropriate sensual behavior with a young lady during his early 20s, describing it as petting rather than intercourse. However, Clemisher firmly rejected his characterization, stating, I was not a young lady, I was a child. She detailed how the abuse escalated over several years until she was 17, when she finally confided in her parents. Meanwhile, Gateway Executive Pastor Nick Lesmeister addressed the church, acknowledging the pain this situation has caused and assuring members that they are offering support and prayer. This case continues to develop, sparking intense reactions and raising serious concerns about accountability and justice.
And I wanted to just briefly update you related to the news that many of you seen by now, the media coverage of Robert Morris, and just let you know that we know that stirred up a lot of emotion for all of us. It stirred up a lot of emotion for us. And we want to be available to pray with you, to pray for you, to support you, to counsel you in any way that we can. And so as we continue to move forward and heal and step into the great things that God's doing in our church, just know that our team is available to you, to pray with you. And last November, our elders made it clear that we had drawn a bright line as a church and we were moving forward. And because we're moving forward and Gateway is no longer involved in this legal matter, we won't be continuing to update you on the proceedings of the case, but we're continuing to pray for everybody that's involved and affected in this matter. So thank you. Thank you to all of you who have been a part of our church family through all of the highs and the lows that we've gone through together. We're so grateful, and we know that God's going to continue to do great things as we're all experiencing Him doing in our church right now.
On March 17th, he surrendered to authorities in Osage County, Oklahoma, after being indicted on shocking charges. While he initially built a reputation as a respected spiritual leader, disturbing allegations have now put his legacy into question. The case revolves around Cindy Clemisher, who has accused Morris of sexual misconduct dating back to 1982 when she was just 12 years old. She bravely came forward, detailing years of abuse and the emotional toll it took on her. Her testimony paints a heartbreaking picture of confusion, pain, and silence that lasted for decades. Morris was booked, had his mugshot taken, and later released on a $50,000 bond. His church, Gateway, has distanced itself from the case, stating it will no longer provide updates. However, Clemisher's story has ignited conversations about accountability in religious institutions. This case isn't just about one man. It's about the larger issue of abuse and the need for justice. As the legal battle unfolds, the world is watching to see if Morris will finally be held accountable for his alleged crimes. Gateway Church has officially cut ties with Robert Morris and will not be providing any further updates on the case. But this situation isn't just about one man. It's about a much bigger issue, the struggles survivors face, especially when abuse happens within religious institutions. Cindy Clemisher's story is a powerful reminder of why it's so important to believe survivors, hold perpetrators accountable, and challenge systems that allow abuse to go unchecked. Her courage has not only brought Morris's actions to light, but has also sparked a necessary conversation about integrity, justice, and the urgent need for change in faith communities. No matter how powerful someone is, no one is above accountability. This case serves as a wake-up call for religious institutions everywhere to do better, be more transparent, and ensure that survivors are heard and protected. Even though more concrete evidence is needed, let's remain cautious, as this could turn out to be a false accusation. Only a thorough investigation will reveal the full truth. For now, we stand for justice on both sides. As Scripture says, justice will prevail. Thank you for watching.